Johannes, started the season with a defeat. Just give me your view on the team's performance today.
Overall, not good enough. I don't think we took care of the moments in the game where we could have done better and should have done better. I think there was space and also the space that we prepared for, but I think we're not good enough on the ball. We made too many mistakes coming out of, from where I see it, nothing, where we could actually have accelerated the game and also should have put more pressure on their box and their defensive line. So overall, not satisfied.
Given all the training you've done, all the hard work in pre-season building up to this, how dispirited are you by all of the things you're saying, by the amount of things that didn't work?
Oh, that's a part of the game, and there will always be, and especially in a window where so many changes can happen and so many things can happen. We have to take it easy and still focus on what we can do, and that's to prepare the best possible way. We can see there's some way to go for us at the moment, and we need to improve from this performance here. But my focus is more or less only on the performance and the preparation.
Performance and preparation. Tell us about Jonathan Rowe and what's happened with him. He wasn't involved today. How late a decision was that, and what happened?
It was too late a decision because it should not happen on game days, of course. And it's fair to say, of course, that it can have some effect on the group and the performance, because of course we prepared with something else. But it can happen. It could also have been an injury in warm-up, or it could have been something else which we of course need to be ready to react on and find the best possible solution. I think from what we see at the moment, we have players, and that's positive, that are interesting for other clubs. So we have to prepare for that something can happen. And now, not only talking Johnny, of course, we should prepare the rest of the window now, and also make sure that we find again this group of players that needs to be the guys that we can trust and rely on going forward here, so we can improve from the performance today.
What happens next with Johnny Rowe, though? He's let you down today by the sounds of it. He's pulled out on the morning of the game, but he's still a Norwich player. So what's the next plan?
He is, and the next plan is, of course, that him and I and also Ben needs to have a conversation about, okay, what happened today and how can we help him continue moving forward. Like I said to you guys in Austria, sometimes things like this happens, and then it's for us to find the best possible solution and then start working forward. But most of it will be internally between the 2 or 3 guys of us.
Does it have an impact on the rest of the squad, though, if they see one of their teammates not wanting to play? That is a big challenge for you when it's your first game in charge. Does it undermine everything you've worked on?
Like I said, you need to prepare for more or less everything when the transfer window is open. That's a part of the game, and as long as the season is started while the window is open as well, you just have to be prepared, and you have to be able to react. It's not ideal, and of course, if I was a teammate, I will not be happy about the situation. But that's how it is. We have to deal with it, and we find a solution.
What's the biggest thing you think you've got to put right? What's the first thing to work on in training after that performance?
There's a lot for us to start. First of all, we have to be more solid. Also in defence, we cannot give a goal away like we did the first one. We have to accept that sometimes we will be put under pressure. We have to make sure that we stick to the way that we defend, and we make sure that we do that as solid as possible, and then find the moments in the game where we can start controlling. Because I think there was moments in the game, but I think we were a little bit too hectic on the ball and gave it away too easily, which is something we need to improve.
If I could just move it on and talk about what comes next. You've got a League Cup tie against Stevenage on Tuesday. Do you welcome that? Another game so soon afterwards? Is it a good opportunity to give the players another go at what you want to instill?
Yeah, of course I welcome that. It's a cup game, and it's an important one for us. What we have to understand is that we're still building something here which should be sustainable for us for many years going forward, and it will not happen in 24 hours. We get some clear answers now, and we have time to do some reflections now on our way home, and to find out how we keep working with the same mindset, with the same focus, and being as prepared as possible. So games are important, trainings are important. I think more or less every day is important in the club for now.
The League Cup traditionally has been the first round has been a match where teams often play younger players, or often try something else out. But you've got a lot of players that need minutes, haven't you, after injuries in pre-season, disrupted pre-season. So how do you use your squad in the League Cup?
We have to make a plan travelling home today, so we make sure that that the week's going to be as good as possible with the game on Tuesday and of course also the championship game on Saturday. So we have to balance that squad and we have to look at minutes and see what's best for us. But I have no good overview on that right now. I need to assess the players and see who's available for that one, and then make and prepare the best possible team for the day.
Just finally, it starts a run of 3 straight home games. So how important is it to you to make a good impression in front of those home fans over those 3 games? Because you almost, I don't know if you need it, but a good start helps just get everyone to buy into it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it helps. What I'm trying to say here as well is that of course a good impression is important, but what is more important for us is that we find the right way going forward, that we keep on building in this squad and in this club, and we stick to the strategy. That's important for us. Of course, wherever we play, whenever we do it, we hope for a win and a good performance, and it will be exactly the same on Tuesday. And when you ask me before all the games coming up this season. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's obviously don't want to dwell on the John Rose situation, but have you ever had that experience as a coach? On the morning of a game, a player basically saying, "Look, I don't feel I'm able to play today."
Not particularly that, but of course I come from a club where we also used to sell a lot of players and where a transfer window could be quite hectic. I've seen my things in my career as a coach, and I know the only response to that is to take it as easy as possible and just focus on the players that are about to perform in the game. That's the only thing that really matters for me today.
I mean, you said obviously, Thursday, these players, him, Adam Eder, whoever else, just look at Gabby Zara, how he's handled this himself. And as you made the point, these are young players maybe going through this for the first time. Do you think he maybe has been badly advised, his actions today?
I have no idea, and it was his decision. It was his words. I respected him. That's how it is, and I just needed as a coach to focus on players that was actually ready to play and ready to perform. That has been my focus of the day, and then of course, like I said, we see tomorrow how we deal with it internally and what we do going forward. Because of course, it should not happen, and it's also, like I said, what's important for us is to build the environment, build the culture, and we should not have a culture where something like that is accepted.
As you say, I mean, that'll be internal now, and that'll remain private. But as with Adam and the Austrian episode, is it a case of you need to make it quite clear what you expect, but then there's still a path for him to come back into the group?
It will always be, and it's just a matter of behaviour and how the players respond to this. Of course, it's a situation that should not happen, but you can never know what happens tomorrow, and we can have a good conversation and we can have a not so good conversation. You never know. What's important for me is that I look at this group and we have to build a strong culture. We have to build an environment based on players that of course have the desire to perform for Norwich wherever we play and when we do it, because that's important. And also for everyone around to respect that. It is important that a club cannot be run by too many players where they have ambitions to go somewhere else in the middle of a game day. So we have to build that culture. We have to build that environment, because it needs to be even stronger. That's where my focus is.
And a real positive, though, to be fair, the other side of the coin, lad, you brought in Mankwa Thorsen, and you maybe didn't want to get him into the action as quickly as you had to at half time, but he showed what he's all about. I mean, talk generally about what you think you've got there with that player and how happy you were with him today.
Really, really pleased. Our biggest discussion of the day was actually if we should have brought him from the start. At the end, we decided it was maybe a little bit too early. We've had one session with the team and just arrived. It was the Thursday or Friday, so not much time here in England. So we decided it was maybe a little bit too soon for him to get in. But it was good to see him, and I think it was obvious for everyone that what he can bring to the team, and also his desire to come here and perform. And these are the players we need to build the squad based on.
Is that a real signal what you and Ben are able to sort of do, and the project you can sell? I mean, I think he's talked in his interview about the fact that the work you've done with players from sort of that background with Nordjylland as well. That a guy who was playing in the Champions League top level in Austria comes here and thinks, no, I want to be part of this project.
Yeah. It's a good story for us, and like I said a couple of times now, it's I don't know whether it's directly based on the story with Gabby, but of course when players can see that we give chances to players on the next level when they perform well here, so he could see that as well, and he wanted to come here. Really a clear desire for him to come here. We had some very good talks So it was actually just a matter for us to get that deal done as quick as possible. Now he's here, I'm really pleased with that.
It's got more on the players who weren't available today. Cordova, just too soon for him today?
Yeah, it is, and I think maybe also still Tuesday. We have to wait and see, because it's not severe, and he was also training and has been training the whole week. So it's just about for us to build him up. So it's not for us to play him 1 or 2 games and then a setback with an injury. No, we need to build him up. So of course, when we see him in action, we can rely on that can continue.
Yeah, and Kraseni not involved today.
Not involved today. He had pain in his back, which came a little bit unexpected and a little bit surprisingly in training the other day, and could not really, he was stiff in his back and could not really move. So it was an easy decision for us to take. Of course, not what we wanted, but that's how it is.
Final one, just throwing it forward to Stevenage. Not going to give anything away in terms of your team selection, but is it an opportunity to give somebody? I mean, we saw some of the younger players today, Gabe and Elliot Miles, Abu Kamara. Are you thinking more give those again? Brad Hills maybe?
Yeah, it can be. It can be. Again, what's important for us is that we find that balance again by being able to perform on a high level, but also, of course, making sure that we prepare the next guys in line to take the next step in their career and for us. So it's always that balance. And when speaking here, I have really no overview on the players that we're going to select for that one. But it's an important one, and it's an important next step for us, because we have to improve from what we saw today, and will most likely do that, hopefully on Tuesday.
Good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, Pat.